Hi everyone, this is Diane. My Domestic Arts Christmas Journal is complete and it has been reserved for someone. I had said that I would do some reservations if I'm doing multiple journals, and I can reserve some and still list some in the shop. And I had asked if anyone was interested in this book. And so I did get someone who wants it, and so when I come back from my getaway, this is going to go in my shop for her. But I just want to show you all what I've done. So as you can see, it's a large book. It is 11 1/4 inches tall and about 8 1/2 inches wide. And it's a Leisure Arts publication, and it's timeless ornaments, cross-stitch ornaments. So I used several of the pages from the book in it as pages because they're really wonderful pages. On the spine, I covered it with this vintage tablecloth, a piece of the vintage tablecloth with ornaments on it. And this was quite a good find. Although it had a lot of stains on it, I've been able to cut around it, and I don't even mind some of the staining. It's a very, actually, I'm not sure if that is a stain or if it's just the color of the ornament there. I don't know. I thought it was stained there, but it might not be. But it looks like tea, whatever it is, so it doesn't bother me. It's not an ugly, nasty stain. And it's got velvet ribbon, not real velvet. And then I put this large eyelet in here, and I made a tassel out of fabric strips and ribbon and lace, and just put it around this book ring and put the book ring through the eyelet. I did not put a fastener, closure on it. There's lots of room for growth. Now the woman who wants it wants to put Christmas cards in it, save her Christmas cards, so that will bulk it up very much. So she might want to tie a ribbon around it. So let's just go through. It has 3 signatures. Oh, and I did add a doily up here because there was some glue or something was marring the look of it up here. So I just put that cute little doily, and I really like the way that looks. I did not change the end papers because it was this beautiful buff colored parchment, and the flyleaf was the same. So I took the 2 flyleaves, front and back, and put them back into the book. You'll see. This was actually on one of the front pages, and I fussy cut it out and glued it on. And this is a vintage fabric, big bold fabric with Christmas greenery and poinsettias, and I used that on the inside of the spine, and then some Christmas ribbon there. The front page of each signature, actually the front and back, it wraps around, are cardstock pages that I stitched together to make them wide enough. And this is just a scrap of cardstock paper, and I corner punched it here and sewed it on. This is a beautiful little decoupage. I think it's a napkin. My friend Pirio sent that to me in a little Happy Mail package that she sent. So this came from Germany. I used some of the Mrs. Coggs Christmas words and the vintage Christmas ads in this book. So here's one of the Christmas word cards, and it's Deck the Halls. So the bird here is singing fa la 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 la. And this is a Christmas recipe card from Current, one of those that folds. I didn't fold it because I just put it in here like this. And this is a large card from Tsunami Rose, one of her Christmas kits. Any of the digitals that are in here were printed last year. I didn't print anything new for Christmas this year, except for the Mrs. Coggs things, because she just sent them to me this year. So I've had so much stuff left over from last year, I'm trying to use it up. Here is a large Christmas gift tag with a Santa Claus on it. Looks like he's writing in his list book. This is a page from a children's book, and this page wasn't Christmas themed at all, so I just put this leftover journal page from last year on it. It's got lines on it so that you can write in it. This is Christmas gift wrap, and I made a couple banners here out of Christmas fabric and some lace. This is a page from Saturday Evening Post book about their Christmas publications, and of course this is a Norman Rockwell painting. Santa is so tired he fell asleep, so the elves are finishing his project. And there's another Norman Rockwell here. Actually, this book is called Christmas with Norman Rockwell. And there's a vintage gift tag I just stapled there. Some song page. It's a Christmas songbook, and this is a vintage sticker, Christmas sticker. I got this patchwork in a flea market, a bunch of flea market stuff, I think. I don't think this was in a Happy Mail. I think I got it in flea market fabric. And this was just the size of it. I didn't cut it down, but it's beautifully made windmill patchwork with peppermints on it. Isn't that pretty? And I just put a little scrap of fabric and some vintage lace up here. And this is one of those pages from a binder, a craft binder. It's got the holes right here, and it was a double page. So this worked really well in this book. I think I just trimmed it off a little bit to fit in, but I was able to use the folio spread in this book. This is another of the Tsunami Rose large ephemera cards with some ribbon sewn to the top. This is a vintage Christmas card. Isn't that so beautiful? And it was used. It's from Mike and Irene. And this is called Slim Jims from Hallmark. And I Mod Podged 2 different napkins onto this tag. There's this one with the little elements on it, and then the Santa Claus face I superimposed on it. Computer paper here. This is a page from this book. And this is a leftover page from Tsunami Rose's Christmas List digital kit. And I stamped down here. I used one of my giant Christmas doilies here because it's a nice big book, so I could just put it in here and it fit beautifully. This page is from an old photo album, and I just sewed around it in red for decoration, and this is the only one I did it to because it took forever, but I did a fancy stitch across the top. That's my tablet giving me notifications, but I don't even know what the notifications are. I folded up the bottom part of this photo album page and sewed it right here, and of course it's sewn in the center, so it made 4 little pockets. So this is a little Santa Claus playing card, and these are a couple of printables. I do have to back this because it's on paper. This one's on cardstock. I thought I got them all, but I see I missed one. And this is one of the Mrs. Coggs vintage ads. It's got Santa Claus advertising a fountain pen. And I did a video showing how I was making these little journal cards, excuse me, with these images. And this is a page from an appointment book. It's a December page from the 1980s. And some ribbon and lace there. And we have another Christmas playing card. And I did put some plaid top note shapes on the center signature strings on all the signatures. There are 3 signatures. I don't know if I said that. That's typical of my books. This is just a little fabric cluster. We're on the back side of the pages now. This one has a ribbon, a fabric ribbon with white lace along the edges, sewn to the edge. Here's the other side of that large craft page from a binder. And some of the vintage fabric that's in the center of the spine. And this came off of a piece of fabric that I got at the flea market. And some vintage rickrack up there. Look at those old Santas. Here we have the page with music on Christmas song here, and I glued on a vintage paper coaster. It's cardstock as a tuck spot, and this came out of a different craft book. This I had cut out from last year, and I just sewed it to some lined paper. There's another of the Mrs. Coggs word things, and this is a tablet note paper with Christmas star ornaments on it. And there's another note paper here with Christmas trees and a little vintage ticket with a deer on it. I used a glassine bag and put on this really beautiful angel sticker and a poinsettia hang tag and just a digital tag that I had left over from last year. I just glued it to some of that appointment book paper. I stamped a candy cane up here in the corner. This is the beautiful Christmas fairy fabric that my French-Canadian friend Pierrette sent me. I know I used it last year. I think she might have sent it to me earlier in the year, last year, but I'm running low on it now because I used it in probably all the books I made last year, and I've been using it this year too, and it's just so pretty. It's got gold highlights and some really pretty, they look like Cicely Mary Barker, I can't remember, the flower fairy lady. Looks like her artwork, I'm not sure if it is. And it's got a gold ribbon at the top, and this is a Tsunami Rose card with a cluster of fabrics and laces at the top. So, second signature, I'll go through this a little faster because it's pretty much all the same elements, but there's a quote from Laura Ingalls Wilder up there. And here we have some napkin that I Mod Podged onto file folder, and then I rounded the corners and I sewed it to this cardstock because I had done this with Pirio's pretty piece here, so I just kind of mimicked it with that recipe card. Here's a piece of the end paper, the flyleaf, the parchment. This page is the one that split when I was trying to sew this on, I think, and so it just split a bit at the bottom, but I reinforced it all the way up with a piece of cardstock. There's a fabric cluster there, a vintage foiled Christmas sticker, gift tag. This is a really pretty piece of Christmas fabric, a bit of rickrack. This is rows of rickrack that are sewn together. I thought that was really cute. I didn't sew them together, it came that way. I got it at a flea market. Or somebody sent it to me, I don't remember on that one. Tsunami Rose. This is another gorgeous vintage Christmas card. I love this card. I hate to give it up. But I don't use Christmas journals. This came from a craft book about Afghans, knitting Afghans, so there's a Christmas one that I put in here. Oh, and there were holes in this photo album page where it was bound into, it had post bound, it was post bound into the album, and so it had holes when I took it apart, and I just took these bookmark tassels that I recently got in a Happy Mail and added them, so there are 3 of those tassels in here. You can take them off and put them on a tag or whatever you want to do with them. So we've got some more playing cards in here, and this is another one of the tags that I made with Mrs. Coggs cards with a really pretty little snowflake button and this little image. This one says Jack Frost. I thought that was appropriate to be all snuggled up with a knitted Afghan on a cold night. This is another piece of patchwork and a Christmas nubby towel. I love that towel, and I think it's just about gone now. I used it last year too. Look at that beautiful Christmas stocking with the cross stitch. And this is from a vintage Christmas decoration package. I actually got a box of stuff at a flea market, and this was in it. And it actually had the log and the fake plastic leaves and pine cones. It was really ugly, but it had the bells. I saved the bells, and I saved the box. I threw the rest away. And there's just a little printable. It goes into the pocket there. Again, we have a tag and a poinsettia hang tag, and I wonder if I was supposed to glue something on that. Did I glue something on the other one? So, oh no, that was, I did a crafty session yesterday where I was gluing gift tags, the vintage gift tags, onto these, but I didn't do it in this journal. I already had those in here. I just cut out a piece of the appointment book, a December page, and glued it on here. And this has a piece of Tim Holtz card stitched on, but it makes a pocket over here. So I put a vintage recipe card in there. There's a little stamp of Santa in his sleigh. And this fabric is a beautiful fabric. I'm not sure if Perrette sent this to me or not, but I think she did. She sent me a bunch of fabrics last year, Christmas fabrics. And this might have been one, but somebody sent it to me. It might have been someone else. And it's got this beautiful green and white trim at the top. I think that's just about gone too. And the last signature. This is left from a gorgeous little children's book that I cut up and used last year. And I had one reindeer left from that book. So I stitched him to this piece of cardstock, and it's a pocket. And then the Mrs. Coggs Christmas word up here is the "Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen" quote from The Night Before Christmas. Visit from St. Nicholas. Again, wrapping paper. This one says Jingle Bells. There's that tablecloth that I used on the spine, and some red lace, and another piece of gorgeous fabric. Here we have a vintage postcard, and it was written on. I don't see a year on it. It doesn't look like it was stamped. I mean, mailed. And this is another Mrs. Coggs image with some ruffled fabric and a cute little button shaped like a Christmas present. This is a Mrs. Coggs word that says stocking, so I put it on this computer paper that has stockings on it. This is one of the Tim Holtz Christmas stamps that I have. Another Mrs. Coggs. This is green tulle that's kind of rolled up. And another digital image from somebody. So there's another one I have to back. I have two pieces that I have to put on something sturdier. And because I made a little fabric tab with one of the flower fairies, I put sugar plum fairies on this page. This is a piece of the tablecloth again. This one is an angel ornament. And this is just something you can unwind this. It's not a pocket, but you unwind it and then open it up and you can write on it. I think it was supposed to be a pocket. I'm not sure if I took it apart or if, because it looks like it was glued together there. I'm not sure. And I can't remember if someone sent that to me or if I bought it. I don't remember. But it's cute anyway. There's another list paper with a snowman on it. It is Christmas in the heart that puts Christmas in the air. There's a Christmas tree stamped up in that corner. And then this gorgeous piece of a vintage table runner. I love this. And this is the last piece of that. Tsunami Rose image. And then I cut this from the Christmas cross-stitch book, and I backed it onto red cardstock to make it sturdier, and sewed a piece of that red and gold ribbon up here. So it's a pocket, and so Patricia can put Christmas cards or whatever she wanted to do in there. And that's the book. The end. It's just the beginning for Patricia. So thank you for watching. Thanks for coming along with me as I worked on this journal with a lot of the elements I did on video, and I thank you for coming along. And don't know what's going to be next, but I will be back. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.